Fight fans, fight fans, fight fans. This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News. And I want to talk to you about the fight that happened last night. I saw the fight live. Forgive me for the late post, but it was, Cinco de Mayo weekend, right? So did a little partying, still doing a little drinking. Purple haze in full effect. And man, I just want to discuss what happened last night. Chavez made weight. That was something that was encouraging, But of course Canelo made weight. They both came in at 164, not 164.5. Nobody wanted to lose $1 million or 500,000 or nothing, right? So they each came, shaved off that 0.5% of weight that was required for this bout. But Chavez came in, and did nothing. You know what I'm saying? He did nothing. Canelo beat Chavez he actually, he didn't beat Chavez. You know what he did to Chavez? He punished Chavez. He punished him. And you could see it. And it was absolutely terrible. You know what I mean? It was almost like watching them world star hip hop videos or those random Facebook videos where you see a person just beating the hell out of a person, the person not fighting back, you know what I mean? And, internally it makes you mad and angered, right? That's what it made me last night. And I just wondered, and it just, while this was taking place, I was getting mad, you know what I'm saying? Like I was really getting pissed off because I'm like, Chavez, why aren't you fighting? Why aren't you fighting? Why aren't you fighting? And then it dawned on me like, okay, well, damn, when was Chavez legitimate in the first place? You know what I mean? They pulled this guy out of the ashes, basically, technically. Dusted him off, blew the dust off of him like an old vase and said, hey, we want you to fight. And I think that was unfair for Chavez Jr. because, I don't think he was ready. I don't think he would be, I don't think he would have beat Canelo anyway, but he wouldn't have lost by this amount. But you'll never know because it's just a different classification of fighter, at this point of Chavez Jr.'s career. So let me give him credit. If he was more than a hype job or just more than a name, Canelo Alvarez damn near beat the name out of this kid. You know what I'm saying? He'd put a whooping on him. Chavez Jr. should change his name to something else. Miguel Chavez. Just cut the fucking Junior. You know what I mean? But, he was a sacrificial lamb. They knew he wasn't in a condition to even beat Canelo, but I didn't think it was going to be this way. He beat the shit out of that guy. You know what I mean? He did, it properly showcased Canelo like De La Hoya intended it. The handlers of Canelo are quite clever. De La Hoya knows what he's doing. De La Hoya didn't want Canelo in there with Golovkin while Golovkin had that aura of invincibility. You know what I mean? He wanted to wait till he got a little older. It's perfect right now. Perfect example. Look at De La Hoya Chavez, right? Chavez was missing a couple steps. He fought everybody at that point. He fought Camacho. He drawed with Whitaker. He fought Mildred Taylor twice. And then Frankie Randall. It was the first guy that dropped him. So and then there was De La Hoya. You see what I'm saying? So De La Hoya knew instinctively from his own career. He mirrored what he was trying to do, and he wanted to pour it into this kid, and he's doing a great job. It was no way that De La Hoya was going to fight Chavez when Chavez was whooping all these guys. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't going to happen. So, I'm going to tell you perfectly the reason why. De La Hoya sparred with Chavez, and he was dropped, dude. I've seen the footage. You know, matter of fact, I'll put it in the description box, you know what I mean, and show you how De La Hoya, you know, De La Hoya still did a good job. He was still able to counter and land. He was quick. He was sharp. He was fast. He was hungry. He was young. But the power that Chavez had with the speed that he still possessed, he couldn't do anything with Chavez as far as power. But when they actually fought, he was able to do all the above because it was that ripening time. It was that time where Chavez was on the downcline and De La Hoya was on the incline. This is exactly what's happening with the newfound fight of Golovkin, Canelo, or Canelo Golovkin, should I say, A side, B side bullshit, right? So it's Canelo Golovkin. And now they predict, like De La Hoya predicts, let's fight Golovkin now because of how he looked in the Jacobs fight. If Golovkin ran through Jacobs, this fight would still be on pause some type of way. Some type of shape, form, or fashion. This fight would have been on pause. You know what I mean? And that's what it would have been. You know? But since Golovkin looked beatable, Golovkin looked like he'd missed a step, Golovkin's 35 years old. Golovkin didn't knock out his last opponent like he did all the other opponents before that, right? It's time to take on Golovkin now. While Golovkin still has the record, while Golovkin still has damn near all the belts except the WBO, which Billy Joe Saunders has the WBO. So it's time to take that fight to Golovkin now. So that's all orchestrated by Oscar De La Hoya. Good job for you, Oscar De La Hoya, because he knew what he was doing. I just always found me personally, that it's cowardice to want to fight a guy that's missed a step. I've been saying it in my older videos. I wanted Chavez Jr. to win only because I knew Chavez Jr. would take the fight with Golovkin because they've sparred also. Canelo and Golovkin has sparred. No one has quote unquote ever seen this shit. I know someone has filmed it, but they haven't leaked it. And I hope they leak it because, the fight's now on, you know what I mean? Just to kind of get this grind and this stuff going because it's going to be a good fight. Because Golovkin, he comes forward. Canelo can box and punch, you know what I mean? And you know what? I think he moves a lot better at 164 at a higher weight class. I think the cement feet came from the inability to waste because he was getting tired with footwork. He didn't have the best footwork, but it was like he planted his feet to punch because he knew that at that weight that he was at currently at 154, the Canelo weight 155, he wasn't able to move like he probably should have moved. Not saying he couldn't move that. He's been labeled cement feet or bad footwork or whatever. But Canelo Alvarez, he was really elusive. But then again, he was in there with Chavez Jr. and Chavez Jr. really is not a fast guy, but I think he moves a lot better. It might just be the opponent, like I said, but he looks like he can do a lot more at 164 versus 155. So, I think he was limited, I think his skills were limited at 155, but I think he looks strong. And, if Canelo can beat Golovkin, this would be the best time. If Golovkin can beat Canelo, I'm sorry, I don't think this would be exactly the best time. I think last year, which should have been perfect. You know what I'm saying? That's why, De La Hoya knew what he was doing. He was not going to put Canelo in there in September of 2016. Fuck that. Get some guy that's undefeated. Get Beefy Smith. He knocked out Beefy Smith in round 9 body shot. Made him look good. Before that he fought Khan. So that's 2 fights that he could have used. But that was all procrastination because they wanted this type of platform to be laid out. Canelo has a dynamic performance, beats the shit out of Chavez, looks very good. That, and he was going to be the A side anyway versus Golovkin coming off a fight that was one of his toughest. You know what I'm saying? If you can compare these 2 fights, you would think that Canelo has the edge because Canelo looks better and he's dominating over overall performances. So a lot of people are gonna, flock towards Canelo, and plus Golovkin's 35. You know what I'm saying? Canelo's 26. He'll be 27 by the time they fight. You know, so, but that he's in his prime, dude. You know, imagine De La Hoya in his prime, 26, 27. Canelo, same thing. Canelo's had twice as many fights as De La Hoya did it, by the time he was 26. Because by the time De La Hoya was 26, he was fighting Trinidad and he had his first official loss. And I said official. I'm not going to get into that. But I see the fight. The fight was showcased in a very different way than any other fight that I ever seen in my life. They had Golovkin up there. I'm like, dang, there's the Kazakhstan flag. Golovkin comes out, what I mean, with his theme music, what I mean, and it's like the fights is done, and they just really showcased it. My question is, this is my question, guys. I want to know if that was already orchestrated from the jump. Was that material already just set aside? Like, okay, this if Chavez don't knock him out, but there's a good chance that we're going to make it, or was this like preordained to be what it was going to be? Like, we're going to show this no matter what. You know what I mean? Because, I'm thinking that they could have shown that material whoever wins, but everyone wanted to see this fight. So, due to the outcome of the fight, now that you can clearly see that Chavez was just picked to get his ass beat. He looked like Angulo. The only difference is they didn't stop the Angulo fight. Angulo at least tried to fight. He just didn't have the skills or the punching power to hurt Canelo Alvarez. But Chavez didn't even try. So that made me think, dude, if you didn't even try, shit, at least the Sergio Martinez fight, he at least tried. He threw some punches. He couldn't do that against Canelo. Too sound, too tight, his punch placement was just awesome. If you want to just see a classic ass beating, that is it looked like a one-way exhibition. That's what it looked like. But the fight has been announced. It was announced last night. It looked like watching a Marvel movie. You know what I'm saying? Waiting for the credits to end so you can see the last little clip. That's what it was. That was the last little clip of that fight. You know what I'm saying? What's to come? And what's to come is Canelo Golovkin. And, I can't wait to see it. I'm just hoping Golovkin still has enough to do what he should normally do. You know what I'm saying? Nothing spectacular, nothing, just him being him. Not him, what if he really was injured? Which I think that's bullshit. I don't think that Golovkin was injured. I think he was already, this fight was, after he beat Jacobs, there was no need for Billy Joe Saunders. That was just, it was unnecessary at that point. And I think that was all made up. So just so Canelo can get past Chavez Jr., which he did easily, and this fight has been made. So, let's let the fans know this newfound information so we all know it. Been talking about this fight last few years, And I look forward to it. But Canelo looks strong, bro. Canelo looks really good. Those combinations were beautiful. He was countering. I don't even know if he carried. Because these are here's some scenarios, okay? Did Chavez Jr. go in there just to get his ass beat for $6 million? You know what I'm saying? Which, that's on some conspiracy shit, but this is boxing, right? So it ain't like that's out of the, that's just out of the question. So, what do you really think happened in this fight? Did he take that ass whooping legitimately? He just couldn't find him. That's what everyone wants to believe or whatever. But, these are all scenarios. Was the fight fixed? Was it just orchestrated? And these are just questions. I'm not saying this is what it is, but what I can say is Canelo beat the shit out of Chavez. You know what I mean? And it looks good, but but was he handpicked to look that good? You know what I'm saying? It's all in the plan. Beat the shit out of Chavez, you'll get Golovkin. Golovkin looks like he's going to fall. Take him now. Take him down. Right? So, let's see if Canelo can chop that tree of Golovkin. You know what I'm saying? Because it is the resistance. You know, so Golovkin is the resistance. Make no mistake about it. Because Canelo's coming. You know, and I can't wait to see this fight. And I look forward to it. But you guys give me what you think about this fight. But again, you know, once again, sorry about the delay. But hey, it's Cinco de Mayo weekend. And you guys please subscribe. And you guys all been counterpunched. Peace.